Today, I'll be taking you through the most destructive and horrific conflict in the entire history of AP1X. The story of horror that would go on to fuel some of the most feared moments in all of Year 8. This is the story of cowardice, cruelty, and power. This is the Glue War. The date is September 2020. After much strife with the coronavirus, the students are finally returning to school. But little did they know, in little under 2 weeks, the most unfortunate horrors of the Glue War will be unleashed upon them. Sabir was confident in his abilities, and the fact that such acts would shock people into not being able to resist him, his gamble had paid off. When the first glues were fired, no one anticipated it. Everyone screamed in horror as the sheer brutality of Sabir was unrivaled. The war had started with the infamous Abby genocide. She was targeted and destroyed, completely obliterated by Sabir. He had an uncanny hatred for her, and many historians to this day do not know why he targeted her or why he hated her so much. The war dragged on to October. In October, it was not really a war, it was a slaughter. However, one Lila had begun a war. Some were in favour, but even her own friends were opposed.
Personally, I support Subir because he's very entertaining by throwing the glues, and it makes me laugh. So yeah, Lila can do one.
Now, infamous footage shown on screen, it shows Lila throwing a glue into the back of Sabir's head, and then Sabir proceeding to do 3 absolutely devastating counter-strikes over a period of 30 seconds. And Lila, she was just unprepared, and she dug in but couldn't resist, and that was the last time she ever tried to fight Sabir. But soon, another challenger would emerge. The Siege of Geneth, the most brutal and longest part of the war. It was horrible, and from what we can tell, it was started over the hunting of the robot. As the war continued, the hunting of the robot was something Sabir and Gethin did in free time, with Gabriel occasionally coming in to support. Robert was completely destroyed, and many horrible things happened to him under the custody of Gethin and Sabir. But one day, Sabir, after Gethin was downed, attacked Gethin, and so began the Siege of Geneth. Gethin never retaliated. He dug in and set up, which managed to last him the whole month until early December, when the infamous Battle of the Trumpet happened, and that was the real turning point. But the Siege of Geneth was still brutal. Many people became casualties due to remarks at Sabir, which would be further escalated in the massacre of Friday. But Geneth consisted of constant bombardment by Sabir, glue after glue after glue. He even slightly destroyed part of Gethin's cover in the desk. This battle was brutal, and yet it accomplished nothing, as the true war would continue afterwards like nothing happened. It was pointless slaughter of Gethin and many other people near the back who were not even involved, such as Kyle and Connor and the other people. And the Geneth sieges will forever be remembered in history as brutal, pointless slaughters. Now, the Battle of the Trumpet, the real turning point of the war, the point where 2 once friendly allies became brutal enemies who never helped each other ever again, until one day later. But still, the Battle of the Trumpet was historic in its brutality, as Sabir showed how he did not care for allies nor enemies. He destroyed them all the same. The trumpet was a historic piece and was preparing to play with a kazoo from another person. But then Sabir picked up a water bottle as Gabriel was sitting there with the trumpet on the other side of the room. He was threatening to throw the water bottle out the window while Gabriel had his trumpet and was playing some notes. Sabir wanted the trumpet, so Gabriel reluctantly took up the offer. He traded the water bottle for the trumpet. But unfortunately, when Sabir played the trumpet and didn't like it, he threw it out the window and the trumpet broke in half. It was an act of betrayal that would shock the history books, and no one anticipated it. The two were good friends, but in war, friendships often become rivalries. And as Gabriel ran down in horror to try and collect the trumpet, he discovered half of it was stolen. The trumpet was taken by presumably Year 11s who were seen passing through a minute before, and Gabriel was devastated, as all he was left with was half of his trumpet. He cried himself to sleep that night, and after the Battle of the Trumpet came the Friday Maths Massacre, where Sabir took the pedestal and asked the math questions such as, what is 12 times 12 times 144? And when someone answered and they got it wrong, he pelted them in the face with the most brutal punishment, a glue. It was completely unstoppable slaughter. He was ruthless, and the footage on the screen right now depicts the ending of the Friday Maths Massacre, as Sabir threw one last glue to someone who complimented his throwing technique. Now, future predictions. As mentioned before, many historians and futurists predict a class war between the classroom across the road, as there has been similar fighting as a bag was thrown out by a wannabe Sabir, but they never used glue sticks. A severe flaw, but there could be a fight between them. But now this concludes the documentary, but now we will have interviews from survivors, outsiders, and the person who made the music for all of this. Shout out P4ND4_H4M.
Alright, here we have another person who's related. I believe your friend got attacked by Sabir after attempting to lob a glue into the back of his head. Now please describe, how do you feel about the glue war going on almost daily?
The glue war is very exciting and it makes me laugh, but it is a bit scary because I don't want to get like a concussion or something like that.
Do you think the glue war is ever going to end? Do you think it's just going to go on forever, or do you think something's going to happen to stop Sabir and his rampage?
I feel like that it's going to go on for quite a while, but I think eventually he'll get caught by Mr. McClay. Yeah, because Mr. McClay comes to class quite late and nearly caught him today. So yeah, I think Mr. McClay will catch him soon.
Alright, final question. Who do you support? Do you support the tyrannical, absolute unit that is Sabir? Or do you support the guerrilla movement, which consists of Rosa, Gethin and Lila, who attempted to put up a fight but were brutally crushed? Who do you support?
Personally, I support Subir because he's very entertaining by throwing the glues and it makes me laugh. So yeah, Lila can do one.
Alright, Mr. Person, you are in the class and you have been a first-hand witness to the brutality and war crimes of Sabir. So, what do you have to say on this matter?
It's very scary every time he does it because I feel like I'm gonna get killed.
What is your opinion on the people he is targeting? For example, Abby, Connor, Lila. What are your opinions on them?
Some of them are fine, but most of them are just...
So, what do you think is the future of the glue war?
I think Sabir will eventually get caught and probably won't do it again. Or he will carry on doing it till he kills someone.
When he kills someone, who do you think it will be?
Probably Guinness.
Alright, one final question regarding the glue war. Do you, as a neutral spectator, who are you rooting to win? The guerrilla alliance of just almost everyone, or Sabir and his trustful ammo supplier, me?
You don't tell Sabir.
Hello. Here with me now is Panda Ham. He's in the classroom. He lives in the classroom right across the hall, and he has not been part of the glue war, but he has seen its effects and what happens with it. He is very, he even made the music for it. So first question is, what do you think of the glue war?
I find that the glue war is quite a scary thing, you know. I'm not quite in it, but I hear stories that come out of the classroom of some very horrible things happening, and you know it's a pretty strange experience.
In your humble, honest opinion, do you think anything is going to happen to Sabir? Will anything stop him? Or do you think he's just gonna keep on destroying everyone?
You think that Sabir might carry on this way for as long as he is still, you know, there? Somebody needs to take over as the class sort of warlord and hopefully be less destructive.
Alright, but in this war, who do you support? Do you support the tyrannical, absolute unit that is Sabir? Or do you support the guerrilla alliance, which consists of Lila, Rosa, and Gethin, and other people who were affected by the war? Who do you support?
I support the guerrilla alliance. I find that what Sabir is doing is pretty wrong, and it's you know it's hurting people, and that's not the best thing to be happening.
Alright, Mr. Panda. Final question. How have you found working on the Glue War documentary? How has been the experience in producing such quite a interesting film?
I found it quite a challenge because it's quite different to the other kind of music I'm used to making. Having to do it a bit more, you know, fitting in with the theme. You know, it can't just be like a song of a tune. It has to sort of fit in with the documentary and be more orchestrally.
Alright, we are here with an outsider from the Glue War. They're in the classroom across the hall, and here we would like them to offer their perspective on the Glue War based on the footage that they've seen. What is your opinion on the Glue War, fine sir? Very interesting opinion. But in other matter, who do you support in the Glue War? Like, who do you want to win? The Guerrilla Alliance or the absolute unit that is Sabir and his helper, me? Who do you think will and could win this war, and who do you support?
I support the Guerrilla Alliance just for trying to kill Sabir anyway, but I think I'm on his side.
Alright, fine sir. From the footage that you have seen, who do you think will win the Glue War? Do you think Sabir will ever be stopped? Or do you think the Guerrilla Alliance will be completely destroyed by Sabir? Or will Sabir get caught by the teachers?
I think Sabir might get caught by the teachers, but still do it anyway and just kill everyone, even you.